welcome to the Put Up, everybody. I am A.K.A. the Wizard, and what is it? It's Sunday, February 23rd, and I think this is episode 9 this year, if I'm not mistaken. Today, I have a really special guest for you all. I've been working with this man for over, 9 months on this project that we're releasing today. It's his birthday. Please welcome in to the Put Up, DJ Melodic from Mixed Signal
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
What's up, bro?
Thank you so
much. How you feeling,
for
bro?
In. I am so blessed, Thank you so much for having this platform for independent artists such as myself, producers for 2025. It's going to be a great year. This project that you and I have done sounds amazing. I can't wait for everybody that's tuning in right now. If you haven't heard it yet, you're going to. I'm sure that the people that's viewing, and I told you to come in and check it out. When you do hear it, you're going to be so ecstatic, like, man, this sounds amazing. This is nothing that I've heard before that's out there. This is not a big me up or anything, but this has been, for those that don't know, 3 years in the making of creating this instrumental project. And I found my missing link to make it all come together, and that is the one and only Chris Collins that you see there on camera. So today is a great birthday for me. Now, I do have
happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Before we go anyway.
Anybody else that's seeing this and they want to say happy birthday to me, I'm on all social medias. They're different in each one, but for those that I gave, my Facebooks, my Instagrams, my Twitter /X too, go there. Leave a comment. If you can leave comments here on the show, that'd be even better, so I can know exactly who you are, because I'm sure everybody that's watching should have a YouTube channel or some type of, because of today's social media and digital streaming programs. So thank you so much for those that are wishing me a happy birthday. Today is my birthday, and I am ecstatic. I'm so happy and blessed to be 49. I know some people that, the age, and you don't say what the age are, but I am blessed to be here, on this day. And it's a beautiful day here in New Jersey. For those that can't see it, I've got a little sunshine here. This is not lighting. It's cold, but the sun is shining, and I'll take it,
Well, bro, thanks for coming here today and being with me on the show,
you.
honestly.
I'm so appreciative right now. You have no idea.
And we're just going to get a little warm-up going on before we get into the interview. Let's talk about sync license placement, bro. This music... Yeah. I told everybody ahead of time, this is like something you've never heard before. I've never worked on music like this until now, right? And right when I heard it, I was like, this is sync licensing music. This stuff would be perfect in behind an animation of some kind. Like, is that your hope for this music? Like, talk to me about sync licensing.
For the past 3 years, I've been trying actually to get my music into sync licensing, sync placement. I went to, different sites just to see if I can, get submitted. I think I got one of my songs into one of their libraries, but I haven't heard anything back. I, tried different tempos, genres, styles, feels. And each way is, they have their own way of what they want, how they want it to be presented, things of that nature. And it costs. So don't think I could just, my song fits it. You got to invest in your creations, guys. So I definitely invest. As far as I got, like I said, a song that I did, and it's like a good 30-year-old song, got placed in one of their libraries. So it made me realize I'm going in the right direction if somebody heard that. So I just kept going. Didn't see anything, but I'm not going to stop, because Chris was saying, my music that I'm creating has that image to when you listen to it, it's like, this could be in an anime, this could be in a video, this could be a movie soundtrack, this could be a TV commercial, this could be a radio ad. And I'm not doing that when I create it. It's just when you hear it, it's like it can already go into those type of areas, when you listen to it, like, damn, I can hear this as a commercial, it's jamming, or that, I can see that as a movie scene, or the credits are going and you hear the song. Each one has a different area where they can fit. So that's a great thing. If you're not the type of artist or producer to where you want to be on stage and you want to go through the whole artist ritual of, okay, I'm performing it, I got the music video, and I don't mind music videos. I love them, but it's just the way that my creations are. They're going to be a little bit more animated than what you normally would expect. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I was gonna tell them about that part too, right? Like each song that you make tells a story of some kind that could be built into like 4-sequence song will tell a story of like a day of work or whatever, right? Like you have a theme to each one too. It's not just like writing a song, right?
No.
Tell us about that part, bro.
When I first started this series, which was 3 years ago, I wanted something to where everything made sense to the person that's actually listening and if they are invested in purchasing the product. So I came up with the title Universal Tongues, meaning, and as you can see, I got the first promo shirt on. These tongues here represent different legends that are in music. I got 5 different genres on my instrumental projects. I got funk, soul, rock, blues, jazz, right? So each tongue represents a different legend. So you got Miles Davis for your jazz, right? You got Jimi Hendrix for your rock, right? You got James Brown for your soul. Yeah, I thought deep into this. And all of these people that I have on this shirt are
Who are the other two?
Huh?
Who's the other two?
Let's see. I got Muddy Waters for blues. I got James Brown for soul. I got Jimi Hendrix for rock. I got Miles Davis for jazz. And I got Aretha Franklin for soul. So you see what I mean? I got legends, so you can actually know that I came from that type of background. Everything that I've listened to and in my household had
kind of paying homage to that sound quality that they had.
Definitely,
right.
You know, definitely paying homage to it. Also, the fact that it shows like how when you hear my music, oh, it has a little bit of this and it has. I was trained by having it in the household and listening to music. That's just my era. I can't do something that's not in my blood. I love it a lot.
Yeah, it's part of you, right? Like
it's part of me, guys. Like you don't understand. 2 years old, I was humming anything that came off the radio station in perfect key. May have been the key of a 2-year-old, but I'm trying to tell you, like I didn't know Stevie Wonder, I didn't know Michael Jackson, like anything that was played. I knew the melody of the song. I didn't know the artist or anything. My mother was like, you're gonna be something with that. And ever since then, it's always been inside me to have the melodies, the chords, the keys. So you'll hear that because of how it was so many years ago. It kept me sane, basically. When all my friends were getting in trouble, these songs that I would hear on the radio kept me doing like, how did they create that? What is this? I never studied, key or structure, but I heard it and I can actually go to a piano and play it with no problem because of what I hear in my head. I'm brainwashed by the sound of music. So that's been my comfort zone. Like I can hear something and to relax me, I can go play it. I don't care what genre it is. It could be funk, soul, blues, jazz. I can play it on the piano without knowing this key structure of it. I can hear it and I can pick out the keys, the chords, and play it back to myself over and over and over again.
Bro.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like I said before, it's like same kind of quality as like Rick Rubin or something. He doesn't even play instruments, apparently, right? No. I'm sure he plays stuff like can hit stuff or whatever, but
he probably does like the rest of us. Like the first thing that you'll notice that a lot of them, when they have a melody or chord in their head, the first thing they'll do is they'll go to a piano and they'll play it out to get the feeling of it. And they'll go from there to if they play horn or guitar or whatever, they'll go from there and then play it on there to see like the tone and everything back.
Yeah.
So that's basically when I heard that with all the greats, that's the first thing that they did when they heard something. I was embedded into that. So that's the first thing I did was make sure I had a piano, tape recorder of some kind, and I would record my ideas from there.
Oh.
And then
brings me right back to my own roots, man. With the cassette recorder right on top of the piano thing, right? That's it.
Let's see. We're gonna go back 88. Let's see.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say, like, this is the perfect time to go back, bro. We'll start the interview off with the first question of literally just go back to the start.
Sounds good.
Yeah, go all the way back and let us know about this because we want to know, bro, all the way from when you were a child.
All right, so born in 76, a town called Elizabeth, New Jersey. From there, that's basically where a lot of people were in my area when you were born back then. you were born in Elizabeth, and then you may migrate or go somewhere else. As far as I wound up residing in Linden, New Jersey, which is only a good 10-minute drive from both towns. Resided there from my birth up until 12, 13, and then I moved down to Georgia for like 4 years. So in my first 12, 13 years, this is when my music had started. Like I said, at the age of 2, when I would hum songs. And then the age of 8, I got my first piano. And you know how you get into band and you give you like the drumsticks and the pad. So that was my first drum set. So I had my mini keyboard and my drum pad and my drumsticks. And I knew like the drum patterns because I wanted to get in band. So I knew that part as far as the drums, but I didn't know piano. So everything was still up here when I heard things on the radio. I never asked any teachers anything, what key is it in or whatever. I just figured it out myself. I didn't ask. So from there, I went from recording rap music off the radio. This is going like 84, 85. And I'm playing everything off of that onto piano. From there, we moved down to Georgia. Let's say this is 88. And this is when I
was born, by the way.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? Like,
88 is a good year. For those that don't know, all right?
It's already got all this shit going on before I've even been born yet. You know what I mean? Like, what?
Bro, I was in it to win it. Like, it's so much to that 2 years old to 12 thing. Like, I can make a movie.
Yeah,
I'm trying to tell you. It's ridiculous. All right, so 12, I'm in Georgia. Great music is going on at this time. If you don't know, go do your research on 1988. Great hip-hop music, great music, period. So I'm down there. I'm listening to all this music. I advanced my mini keyboard to a bigger keyboard. I took the little drum pad that I was doing and advanced that to a DJ set. So everything was basically upgraded.
Another level, right?
Yeah, I'm going to another level because I'm hearing things and I want to duplicate what I'm hearing. So I got the DJ equipment, I got the piano, but I got to make those two coincide, right? So I go from having the DJ equipment and the keyboard to the 4-track. So that way I can bring in my drum breaks, have my piano, and then I went from there saying, okay, I'm playing it. Is there a way I could actually shorten up playing this for 3 minutes at a time? Because I'm not a professional piano player. And now I'm realizing that when I'm playing, like, sheesh, this got a little feeling to it. So I invest into a sampler. So as you can see, I built up the whole process of bringing my sound forward. Like, okay, now I can sample my piano part. That's the loop. And then I can add on to it if need be, or if I want to add a bass, horns or whatever. So this from 88 to 90 started my DJ / production history of where I am today.
Yeah, and you can hear it in your music, the way the loops are built and stuff. I was just like thinking about it as I'm hearing this.
Yeah. Reason being is because, okay, I'm going to take you back again. We had ASRs, we had MPCs, we had SB12s. I had none of that, but I knew everybody that did. So I basically, went to them who had them, constructed my ideas, and they were, I guess, my engineer at the time of recording my piano ideas or drum ideas into that, and then taking my 4-track, you know what I mean, and recording exactly how I wanted it. And that process won me my first talent show in, I think it's 1992, if I'm not mistaken. If my cousins are here who were the rappers on that talent show, holler back at me and let me know. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was 1992. And just from that, knowing the people and knowing that constructive, idea that I had and people willing to help me, we won our first talent show.
Yeah, that was the first group you were a part of, right?
Yeah, this is my two cousins. Right? Yeah.
What was it called again? I forget. I was reading it.
Mortal Thoughts. Mortal Thoughts is the name of the group. I had two cousins. Female cousin, her name was Rapture. Male cousin was named Crip. And my first DJ name was DJ Panther.
Yeah, CPR, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's spelled when it's like, that's great.
So we was, I was trying to look at something creative even back then, being a teenager, of something to where it would grab the people like, yeah, I can remember who they, who the artists are or the name of the group, and even though the group said Mortal Thoughts, the music was kind of mortal. I mean, like, all right, say for instance, the first single was Mac 10. So the chorus was like, hit you with my Mac 10 again and again. Hit you with my Mac 10. And this is, you know, the gangster time of when you had Snoop coming out with what was the first song that he did with Trey? Dun, 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 not Murder Was the Case before that. See, this shows I'm showing my age. I can't even remember. Deep Cover. Deep Cover.
Dude, we're
See,
trying to like research it all. All right.
So I built off Mac 10 from Deep Cover because of that whole image thing. I loved it. So Mac 10 was Deep Cover revisited. From there, we did like a kind of a Christian rap. It was called The Man Upstairs. That I think probably sold the contest. I wasn't there. I went to New Jersey, but I put all faith in them. They was like, I know we're gonna kill it. I wasn't there, but I had this other guy who did the sound engineering at the time. He went, and when I got back, everybody was saying how great it was, and I missed out on it. But that made me realize I knew where I was going because I wasn't even there, and I'm getting results from something that I'm hearing up here. You know what I mean? So from there, I wish that I would have pushed it further with us, but I took all that happiness from that success, and this is what 3-4 years later, I went to New Jersey. We wound up moving, and I came across some neighborhood guys who were rapping, and we had formed a group called the Infantry, and from there, we wound up winning local talent shows for 3 years straight. No lie, 3 years straight. Every time that they had
it's
one,
like four different things you won by that point, then, right?
Well, 1993, I did that contest. 3 years later, came up, met with them. 3 years, winning, first place. So let's bring us to like 96, 97, 98. So about 98, 3 years straight,
Yes.
And from there, those winnings got us on the radio. So that's going to fuel me even more. And what fueled me even more than that was DJ Premier played our first single that we pressed up ourselves with our hard-earned money. They had a show called Home Cams. And we had did a promo for that. And the promo was so good that they said that, we could come back and do a show. The show was to where DJ Premier was going to be up at, he was queuing in for Stretching Bobito. So this is like 96, 97. This is on Hot 97. He was filling in for them because he couldn't make it. And we met him outside, let him know who we were and what had happened. Put him up on game. This is what happened. So he said, yeah, you got your 12-inch on you? Thank God we did. Gave it to him. And the first song he plays is This World. And my vocals is on it.
There you go.
So that solidified everything. Like I'm good. This is where I'm supposed to be. So we did that. We got the awards and everything like that. We even got interest with Sony Music at the time that was thinking about signing us. It's 4 of us. So you already know how that go. Everybody's going to have their own train of thought of what they want to do. We didn't have any management at the time. Just young guys just trying to figure out this out. Huh?
That'd be real fun to try and deal with,
Oh, man. Listen, 2 years. I about 98, 99, the band had disbanded because it was just too much for, young adults seeing this type of interest and didn't know didn't have the knowledge to know how to handle it, that it was just too much. You know what I mean? So we disbanded. Me and one of the members of the group wound up staying together. And in 2001, we released another single that I had produced. And we started, with the bottom of the bottom, but we called it the underground. And we was getting it on like college radio and building our name back up. And it got a couple of spins. So from there, I wound up putting on my my nephews, and their group was 33 and a Third. And my nephew, who was the producer of the group, White Al Bundy, you can find him now. He just released a new project, so you all need to go check it out. It's phenomenal.
White Al Bundy.
Yeah, amazing name, right? White Al Bundy. The owl as the animal, Bundy as married and children. And he's not white. So figured it all out, and there's your answer. But he's a very talented guy, with a name like that. You know what I mean? He's amazing. So I wound up trying to manage them getting their first EP out. I wound up getting on college radio, getting a little success from there for them. And from there, like I said, I had a friend from the group, the Infantry. We kept doing things up into 2008. And then I went back down to Georgia. So I've been bouncing back and forth Jersey because my family is rooted in Georgia.
Okay.
So when I'm saying 2 to 8, every summer I'm basically going to Georgia for my summers to be with my other, family members from down there. So I've always had
I
that.
live in 2 places at once.
Yeah, pretty much. It seemed like every couple of years we was like, all right, let's go to Georgia. All right, let's go to Jersey. All right. You know what I mean? So thank God we did have family in both areas, to where we can actually do that. If we got, things got crazy. All right, we go to Georgia. All right, we go to Jersey.
Just get out of there.
We can stay there. Let's live. How dare you? But no, it was just when we moved to Georgia, it was a good thing because this is 88. This is when the crack epidemic was going pretty big in Jersey. And they were going crazy on my block. And I think my dad was just like, I don't want you to be influenced by their actions.
It's like safety concerns about moving too, right?
Yeah. And mind you, we lived across the street from a church and they did not care not one thing about selling their crack on the corner, or if they had to fight somebody or shoot somebody with no problem. It was going down.
It's crazy to see different lifestyles and where different artists come from.
Yeah.
It definitely becomes part of who you are. You know what I mean? Like that shapes you as a person, right?
Yeah, I can understand why there's certain artists and their concept or their image or their slang is a certain way because it's what they see every day. You can't talk about being in Pleasantville if you don't live in Pleasantville.
Right.
You know what I mean? Wow. So when NWA is saying straight out of Compton and they're telling you exactly what they're seeing, it's not like they're lying. This is what they see every day. So you get it. Why did the music be that way? But, there is times to where if you guys are my age and have heard of, De La Soul, they not once had to glorify gangster or, calling a woman a bad name. They had lyrical skill and production to go behind it to where they never had to venture in that element. If they got ticked off, they may have said something, but it was never like, this is our
lifestyle,
image. This is our statement. This is all we talk about. Nah, they took it everywhere, and the same thing goes for the Roots.
Okay, so how about you? Describe your style. Like, what makes you stand out?
My style is a little bit of 50s with the doo-wop, 60s with the soul, a little bit.
It's those different tongues that you were talking about before, right? All those little different elements, right?
Because in my household, we had all that. My dad loved all different types of music. My mother loved gospel for days. But they have their Stevie Wonder, they'll have their Motown, huge Motown fans.
My parents were into Elvis, that old school, that bandstand type stuff from and the Beatles and all that old school stuff, right?
Yeah.
Once that came along,
My parents, of course, their British invasion was the Jackson 5, was James Brown, was the Temptations, Smokey Robinson, the Miracles. They were deep embedded into that sound, that style, that imagery.
So that's kind of what your music takes on in a form, those little inspirations then, right?
Yeah, until you get to the rock stuff. Rock stuff sounds nothing.
And then it could go anywhere after that, just rock out,
My rock stuff comes from my brother-in-law, man. I got to give props to him, Lavander Goforth Sr. He the one that really guided me in those 2 to 8 because he was a self-taught musician that loved Jimi Hendrix, that loved Jimmy Page, could play any song that they ever created with no problem on guitar easily, and still can do it to this day. And my first project has him all over it. So the Alert Burt, that's him shredding. All right. The slapjack, the funk stuff, that's him just is in him, and I just wanted to pay homage to him, to thank him for what he had given me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So that's why he's on there. Also with the first project, I dedicated a jazz song to my sister. I call it Mama Ann. She loved jazz music. So that was my dedication to her, to let her know, I appreciate you instilling that sound into me. because it was she would just be so chill, you know what I mean? And she would have her music, her wine, you know what I mean? And she always had the baddest car, and she would bump her music. She didn't
Big
care who.
fucking subwoofers.
Listen, when Back to Life came out, do you hear Soul to Soul Back? Listen, everybody on my block knew my sister had the system. Okay, she had the 6x9s.
I used to install that shit. You know that, right?
Sweet.
Yeah, I was like a professional because I'm an electronic guy, right? So I do wires and
Nice.
stuff. So I would put the head units in and the subwoofers and the capacitors and the giant 0 gauge wires. And... Oh yeah. I was a master of that.
That was supposed to be me too, you know, but I went for computer repair when I got, you know, of age.
Okay.
Stuff, but when I was 12,
I built computers too, so it makes sense. Yeah. Definitely.
So you see why I'm like, he's my guy, right? Do you guys understand what I'm talking about when I say he's my guy, right? But yeah, like when I was 12 years old, you know, of course we had the big thing of cable vision, you know, so I'm seeing this guy come in and hook up my cable. I want to do that. You know what I mean?
Right. Looks so cool. Light wires.
I'm like, I'm like, this guy is bringing me life. I get to see my MTV, my VH1, my BET, my cartoons. Like, he's the man. So I'm like, I want to be this guy. So it went from being this guy to where it's like the music taught me more, man, because I was willing. Like, a very important story that you guys got to know about me. 12 years old, and I tell my girl and everybody, you know, when I'm talking about my music, I wanted this one record. It might have been NWA. I forget what it was, but 88. Asked my dad if I could have the money. He was like, you better figure this out. And he left me with that. No yelling, no screaming, no throwing, because that's, you know.
And you really want it, son.
Yeah, basically that's what he was saying. You really want, you figure this out, but it ain't going to be from my investment. But I know you got this, right? So I took that and went to school, you know, and I wasn't like to where I was violent, but my teacher knew that something was wrong with me because I wasn't that type to, I was more chipper than like anything. So she was like, what's wrong? I'm letting her know what's going on. So she was like, this is a Wednesday, guys. She was like, come back tomorrow. No, this is a Thursday. She was like, come back tomorrow and I'll have something for you. So go from Thursday to Friday. Friday I go in. She was like, starting tomorrow, which is a Saturday, you will be working. You will help out my husband. He has a real estate office, and he just needs a little tightening up. Do you mind doing it? And he'll pay you $50. So that right there solidified, like, I get my record now. You know what I mean? I just go to work, and then I can hop on the bus afterwards, and I can go right to Elizabeth where they have the record stores, and I can get whatever I want. So that right there.
Most important lesson you ever learned, bro.
Yeah. That's it. And that right there kept me on my toes. Like, it really made me determined to where it's like, if you want anything in this life, go out there and get it. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing that you can tell you is no. And as long as they see that you have that drive, that determination, that want, and I'm sorry at the time when I was like, but when I got the opportunity, I showed that I was worth every piece of dollar that he gave me, you know, and I did every Saturday and Sunday.
Well, this interview's done, bro. Like, there it was. You heard it all right there, yo. That was amazing. What the fuck?
But yeah, you know, whatever you want, man, you just gotta go after it. You can't take no for an answer. You just gotta figure it out and, you know, make sure that you really want it, because it's gonna come with some trials and tribulations, and you may not be built for it. You know, when you get to that fork in the road is what I call it, and you gotta either go left, or you gotta go right. Just hold sure that either way that you take, you can deal with the bumps and bruises that come along with it. You know,
legendary information, bro. It was epic. That's what the people needed to hear right there. See?
Yeah.
Amazing. Okay, moving on. So, like, yeah, you've already kind of like described it, like finding ideas for your projects. Like, what inspires you to make Horny Lori or like Excite Mike? Like, where do you get these ideas from? There's a story for each one that like walks through each song, right? So, where the hell do you find this stuff?
So, like I said, like, my life is going through like every day, like what people see every day and what they can relate to, right? So with like Slapjack, everybody knows a guy to where it's like he's the man, you know what I mean? Anybody gonna tell him wrong? He's the pimp daddy hustler is what I call him, right? But in real life, the girls are turning him down. It's just the image that he portrays, because it's not what they want. You know what I mean? He may have the jewelry or whatever, the charisma, but it's just something about his vibe that's, you know, sets him off. Or he may do something like, all right, say for instance, the concept was like he takes his girl on the date, right? And instead of him paying for it, he's like trying to manipulate her to pay for it so he can keep whatever money that he got in his pocket. You know what I mean?
To remain a baller.
You know what I mean? Like he wine and dine her, but she don't realize that she gonna have to pay for it in the end, basically.
Right.
You know what I mean? And when she do, she slaps him, she leaves, she tries to make up like, oh, that ain't what it to be. You know, he tried to give her flowers, but he stole them. You know, he's a hustler. He's, you know, so you go and come across these type of people too. It's like they think they got it, but they really don't. You know what I mean? And there's women.
I want everybody to know listening to this, like what he describes right there is literally what the song sounds like as it plays. That's why I've never heard of music like this before. It doesn't have lyrics to tell you the story. No. It literally attempts to walk you through whatever that moment was that it's explaining.
It stays on a groove, but the guitars and the bass is just going through the motions of like, if you can visualize what I just said, it works perfect.
Yes. And I want to drive that home because I've never heard of an artist doing it like that before, where they each, yes, the song tells a story with emotion or whatever, but it doesn't literally tell the story with the instrumentation used to like, this part's going to make it feel like you're rushing now. You know what I mean? Like that stuff. That's crazy to me. I've never heard that kind of production before you. And, it's like this intriguing thing, bro.
I'm trying to get everybody into like the what's in my head when I come up with stuff. So it's like the only way I can express it is through sound. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I'm finding the right guitars, finding the right bass player, finding the right drums. And for the life of me, because before, all the way up from the time we did the infantry in 96, all the way up until like 2014, it was just me trying to figure out what needs bass, what needs treble, what needs. I'm not an engineer whatsoever. Like I said, I go off of what I hear, you know, and sometimes I did a good job. Sometimes I didn't. And you can hear it in my catalog if you guys are on YouTube right now. But it's listenable. You may be like, that sounds like it was on the 4-track, you know, kind of rough. You maybe got that off the, you know, analog tape right there. But to hear the experience of going from probably 4-track to 8-track to digital, that you get to hear that whole experience without seeing any type of video whatsoever, because I couldn't afford videos for everything that I got in my catalog. So I was
I was just gonna say that, like, it's almost the same idea as like when the video I showed you before we got on here, where I used the new camera setup, right? And it's like, you can definitely, when I put this video, you're going to be able to tell that I switched cameras. You know what I mean? It's going to be obvious. So like when you switch from like the 4-track to the sampler, stuff like that, it's going to be obvious when you hear it.
Yeah. Right? When you hear the old stuff, you can tell that it's on a 4-track analog. You can hear like the hissing and everything. You can tell the difference when you
That's
get
character.
To the track. Huh?
That's character, bro.
Yeah, like I'll give you a great example of it. The first song I ever produced is on my YouTube playlist. It's called Maintain and Obey. You can hear the 4-track. You can hear how I did it to where it's like I got 1 track to where it's like that's the rhythm and everything. I got 1 to where it's like maybe the drums and bass, and then I got 1 to where it's like 1 artist. I got another to where it's another artist, and that's it. And then we got to splice that baby up with like echoes and drops and all that, and you can hear like all that in the song. And that's one of the things I'm so proud of having to this day, is seeing where I came from. So when you guys hear this music now, go back and listen.
Well, and I did that, right? I went and listened to Universal Tongues 1.
Like, he has advanced, like this is, you know, but it shows you.
And my whole goal with like the new record was like to outdo the last one that I heard, right? So I've like hopefully achieved that with this one coming out too for you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Just to try and bring it that next level up if I can, right? As we go here. That's it.
You know, that's what I think that's what I want everybody to hear with, you know, all these universal tongues, is that it's gonna constantly elevate, advance. Right. You can never say that Slapjack sounds like what's my funk one? Blame James. Totally 2 different worlds. Both funky, different tempos, different feels, different concepts. You know, and Blame James, if you guys want to know about that one when you guys get to hear it, it's basically the guy to where he gets blamed for everything.
They all have a story. It's the craziest thing. Yeah.
You had that one friend to where it's like if anything goes wrong, he was the reason why it went wrong. Like he don't mean to, but it's just he's the guy. That's everybody has to blame James. So I'm telling you, once you hear the song, yeah, everybody has blame James. So when you hear the song, look around your family, look around your friends. One of them is like he always messes everything up. You know what I mean? Like, damn it. Everything would have been right if blame James didn't come. Why did you have to invite him? You know what I mean? He's my best friend. Like, damn it. Might as well get a divorce.
So like we're gonna walk us through the creative process here a little bit of how you make a song, but like I want you to give us the real world version of it that you experienced over the past 2 years trying to make a song. And the hell you went through trying to find people,
all right,
get things, pay for things, lose things, get scammed. Tell us all of it.
This is all for the new project that is being released today on my birthday. It's the finding the right musicians to play it the way you want and not give you their rendition of it. Like if you're investing in this musician to play it the way that they hear it, you want it played back like this, like yes, not like something that's totally left field of what you sent them. You know what I mean?
Like it's drum track, for example, right?
It takes away the feeling, takes away the groove, it takes away the vibe. Like no, bro. Like I gave you specific orders to do it exactly like this. If I wanted feelings and everything, I would let you know. But
right,
that's what I've been getting for 2 years is that you give them something, and it's like no. This is better. Like if I wanted your part, I would have told you that. I just want you to do. And here's the thing: they'll tell you that's what they specialize in. Well, if you specialize in playing the guitar, that's what I want. I don't want you to change up anything. I'm investing in you to play it. And I'm sitting, and they'll tell me, send me what you want. You'll send the stem. So you send the stem, and you're not getting back the right key, the right tempo.
Right. Different things each time, right?
It's different things, and it's like I'm investing. Why am I investing if you're not going to give me what I want? So that's aggravating. And then if you go into the mixing part of it, let's say I get it right. Now I just want my engineer to do his part, right? Right. He starts to do what the musician does. He starts to give you his rendition of the shit. And I'm just like, no, bro. Just do your job. You know what I mean? It can't be that hard.
Right. So it's like a process. You find the samples, right? You're trying to like put a little thing together for real musicians to handle, but then they go and screw it up. And then you got the screwed up pudding, and then you give it to a mix engineer, and they screw it up. And now you got a big problem. Right?
Yeah, it's this. It's like, okay, I find it, and then I go down because he's trying to do something that I don't want. And then when he finally gets what I want, I'm up. Now I gotta get the engineer, and I give it to him. And instead of he doing exactly what I need him to do, I'm back down again because I got to construct him to go back up here.
So the goal is to always stay up, folks,
And that's, to me, I think that's probably what's the hardest thing. If you're doing it the way I'm doing it, as far as finding the right musicians, the right engineer, if you don't have somebody that understands
on a deep level,
state, it's going to be a living nightmare. And like I said, I can't tell a musician, hey, this is in, C major or F, I can't. I could just play it and is it this one? And then I will have to go back and play and be like, yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? That's just how I operate. Like, yeah, and the time that I've been doing music, I could have went to and learned, scales and all that type of stuff. But I got results without doing it. And everybody that said to do it, they was like, why? When you can teach yourself. So I just never
might mess it up. You know what I mean? It might change. Make something that we don't want.
I mess up what God had already put up here. I just can't do the book stuff. I can do the thought stuff.
Some people are book smart. Other people are beat smart. You know what I'm saying? It's just how it is. Right.
And that's just how my brain operates. I can figure it out more going up in here and what they call it, hands-on. I'm more hands-on with it with here than I am with anything else. So even with a guitar player,
applied compared to academics, right? Huh? Applying it compared to the academic side of things, right? Like actually making it happen physically.
I can't have somebody to be like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, right? I'm more of a let me do it and you point at how to do it. You know what I mean? Because I can't, like, when you're doing it, I can't like photocopy what you're doing, but I can do it if you actually have me touch it and do it myself. So I'm one of those. That's how I operate up here.
All right, we're gonna go and hear Excite Mike, I think, first today.
Yeah.
For a music break. Tell us how you made that one. Because we went through a hell of a process, right? Like there was a year before I even got involved.
Yeah,
with it, right?
yeah. Before you came along, you came along about April, May of last year. So Excite Mike was a year before that,
right?
And it was finding, like I said, the right engineers to do stuff. Like I had an engineer that I was using for Universal Tongues 1 and was gonna bring him over to this one. I think he, like I said, the whole up and down thing of getting everything structured. I think it was just that first experience. He was like, I'm done.
Like,
I can't. So he bowed out, and I looked for other people, and then they couldn't get it. And he came back as if, okay, I can do this, right? And it took him for a loop again, and he was like, I'm out. And I was like, I know I don't make that much complicated stuff. I've heard complicated music, and I'm like, mine is nowhere by there. It's structured. It's just you gotta work with me. You know what I mean? So they couldn't figure out how I operate up here. Thank God for you, man. And I'm gonna always.
I think I could figure it out, right? I'm pretty sure I figured out how you operate up there. I do. Well, they're gonna find out right now. We're actually gonna roll it.
Yes.
And we're gonna hear what it sounds
I'll talk for days.
All right, rolling. Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and we're here with DJ Melodic today, it's his birthday for one thing, and he's also releasing Universal Tongues 2, which I helped him make.
Yes.
Right?
I'm so grateful.
Tell them about the song that they just heard, Excite Mike, a little more about that.
Right. So Excite Mike is basically we all had that person, or we could be that person up to where they ever since the pandemic, a lot of people have been affected with anxiety of going outside of their house and stuff like that. And when you're
Right.
stuck in a house for a whole year and then you got to go out, things can change because you don't know how to operate because you've been inside learning yourself. So Excite Mike is basically those people that finally get out and okay, they got to go back to work. They got to go on the
And
cubicle.
you're hearing like their experience through hearing the song or whatever, right? Their day or whatever.
It's that alarm goes off and it's like, oh my God, I gotta get to work. I'm gonna be late. I gotta get coffee. You know what I mean? It's just like you're like frantic from the time that alarm goes off. Like I gotta get this, I gotta get that, and you gotta get your ass to work. And then when you're at work, you're still fidgety. You know what I mean? Because it's like, am I doing everything right? Did anybody know anything? Did I got my makeup on right? Do I smell? Did I take a shower? You're fidgety because you in your house, you're safe. So you can fart, do whatever. Nobody cares. You're out in society. It's like, did I comb my hair today? It's questioning everything. Yeah,
like look proper and all that.
It's so much stress. So he's at work. He's stressing out. He's looking at the top. He's looking at the clock because at 5 o'clock, well, if I had the music video, he wants to get home to his safe place. So while he's out in the world and he's making his money, he's like irritable. Like he can't stand like everything because he wants to make sure that he's doing everything right. You know what I mean? So 5 o'clock comes, he's rushing out of there. He gets in his car, he's trying to go. Now, mind you, at 5 o'clock, this is rush hour, so traffic is bombarded everywhere. So of course he's
even worse.
You know what I'm saying? Like, son of a bitch. Like, how am I going to get out of here? You know what I mean? So he gets so mad. He's bumper to bumper. He can't find any way to go. He just like, you know what? That's had it. He gets out of his car, gets on top of his roof because, like I said, it's bumper to bumper, and he's just start running on top of the cars and running home. He wants to get out of it. Like, you know what? Take the car. I don't care. I gotta get to my safe place. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. He's just running home like, fuck it. Like, I had it.
Guys, he literally like this is the story that he gave me in order for us to create the track as we're going. I'm like, all right, so like, okay, now it's 5 o'clock. Like, shit, now we got to go up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because at the end, if you notice, you heard the end, it's like it's frantic, right? Like I'm done. Like I've had it. So he's basically when you hear that part, he's on top of the car, or he's got in the traffic, and it's bumping. He's losing his mind, and he's like, you know what, the hell with it. Gets on top of the car and just runs home on top of every car. He doesn't even care.
Ladies and gentlemen, Excite Mike. Yes.
Hopefully those that like rock music will enjoy it.
Yeah,
it has a lot of animation.
I told the people actually it has samples in it, right? We took samples out of little things to make some of that stuff. Yeah. So it's like some classic drum sounds that you'll hear right off the start, right? Like little elements that were placed inside of it to make it what it is, right?
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was a crazy experience for me.
I'm not going to get too deep in the depth because, the strong struggle, if anybody, for the people that have heard it. But, the drums, I did like some crazy stuff when I first started just to get the tempo and the feel. I was like, Taylor Swift. Shake it off.
I remember that.
It could have just been, but I was looking for a tempo to where it's like it rise it for the moment, and it went from there to like Saturday Night by oh my god, I forgot the name of this band.
Right, we switched out the drum loop like 3 or 4 times, I think.
Yeah,
on that
because I was trying to make it to where the song was, well, the instrumental was based around. I wanted a ska rock jazz.
I'm pretty sure I wrote drums on like a MIDI track too at one point just to try it too or something, right?
Yeah,
it was wild.
We went through a bunch because I was trying to format it to have a different so you can, when you see the video, it goes perfectly with the sound. Like if you heard the sound, it's like, oh, this is kind of animated. But if you see the video, it's like, yeah, it makes sense now. You know what I mean? So you're in that right realm, but it's like the visual takes it off. The description of it, the concept of it should help you, for those that heard it today, be able to be like, all right, I can't wait to see the video, Yeah.
Okay, so the next question then is, and the video, I remember actually getting the video and seeing it and all that stuff when we went through that.
I had a video promotion out there for it. Once we got it done, I went and found somebody. And yeah, when you were saying about the trials and tribulations of this project, that video.
Yeah, like what's been the biggest challenge with this project, bro? What do you think it's been?
That's one of them, because I had the video promotion. Once you got it mixed in the way that I like it, and I wanted to find somebody that can actually
Yeah, because I remember like you
Oh,
trying to tell them the storyboard and it not working for them, and
yeah.
like this
So
2 week
the,
long
the
thing,
story,
right?
right? The concept that I had, excuse me, I gave them, and they totally did it, but it was into where it was like he didn't want to go to work. He dragged, like, oh
Right. It
god,
wasn't him like
yeah, he wasn't
frantically
excited,
anxiety struck in. Right.
right?
It
He
didn't
didn't
tell the
have no
story the
type of
same way.
like anxiousness to him. It was just like, okay, I gotta go to work. You know what I mean? Like get in the car, like nothing was running. Like even when he did like the run across the grass, it was just like a okay, wow. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm paying for this, people. Like, what the heck is going on here? And it was like, oh, we can go and do it the next day. And I'm like, you're not understanding. I gave you direct instructions on how I wanted it
And
done.
paying
I
money,
did it.
right? Like you're paying good money to
Yes.
have this made,
Yes,
right?
people. So those people are out there. So you have to be aware of people that when you're giving them specific orders and you're paying, they should be able to give you great results, right? Well, there's people out there that saying that they're going to do it and they're going to give you something totally opposite because they want to do this whole scam or whatever that they're doing. But
Right.
it sucks, guys. So if you know any of those people, we got to start putting them on blast, man, because it's not going to help us get any further
Well,
if
I think
they're
on the flip
taking
side, right?
our money and scamming us for it.
Yeah,
Say
I think
again?
on the flip side, it's like you also got to build that team of solid people and let everybody know about them too, right? So that
Yeah,
they can keep doing the good work for everybody and making sure that
right,
nobody's getting screwed, right?
right. There's
So it's
there's
like there's two sides to the whole thing, right?
It is. And you know, for those that, like I said, that worked on my first project, I gave them huge amount of like promotion and everything and thank
Right.
yous on it. Even though it was a trial, you know, they stepped up and they got it done, you know.
Yeah.
The second one, they were all talking, no action. You know what I mean? Or they wanted to give me their rendition of how it should sound, and that's not what I want if I'm a hard paying
Okay.
customer, you know, and I'm coming to you for specific reasons. If you play guitar, piano, bass, drums, whatever it is, and I'm telling you exactly what I want, you should be able to give me what I want, especially if I'm paying the price that you said that you could do it for. You know,
Right. And that's partly why I took the project on. Even I was going to do it for free if I had to. You know what I mean?
thank
It
you.
was more so, listen, I can play all those instruments. I'm not going to screw you. We can get this done. You know what I mean? And now
Thank
it's
you
proof,
so much.
right? Like we actually got it done. So yeah, that was the whole point for me was to like right the wrong at that point, right?
I appreciate it, bro. It's been a serious roller coaster ride from hell that I don't think I want anybody on to. You know, when we're doing this music, bro, it should be. I mean, we're gonna go through some stuff. I've seen documentaries to where people went through some heartaches or sometimes to get that hit record. But all this technology now, man, like it's different, people. Like that we shouldn't even be doing that with this technology. I mean, our ancestors, James Brown will kill you for all this technology that you have now. The hell that he had to go through to make the hits that he had. I mean, Aretha Franklin, all of them, they would literally sacrifice you because you guys have things that they would cry
Go
for.
for
They
it.
had to do a
Yeah.
bunch of do it again, take two, take three, wrong key. You know, this one's drunk, this one's high. Like nowadays, you got the technology. You can easily go in there with somebody that's talented, knock it out in an hour with no problem.
You know what? And I think that's part of our obligation as musicians today or whatever is to go through some of those trials so other people don't have to and tell them about it. You know what I mean? Like we are right now. So
Yeah,
you don't get scammed, stuff like that. And it's our responsibility. We had to go through it so that you didn't have to. You know what
yeah,
I mean? Like that kind of thing. Same thing
yeah,
with them. They had to go through that hell of analog and digital so that we can have all this technology now. So it's the same
yeah.
kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
that's why I said they would go nuts on us.
Yeah.
Like you got this technology and you guys are scamming people and doing all this nonsense. Like why? Like you know how hard it was for us to create this one song. You know how many scams hell we had to go. You know how many times we
Okay.
didn't get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So leaving all of that negativity behind us,
Yes.
what's the one best thing that you've had in your career so far? What's the one highlight that you can share with us?
Uh, highlight definitely for 2025 has been, being alive, having this release, having you in my life. I cannot lie, man, because I knew that what I'm creating is not rocket science. It's just good music. It just needs to be out, but it just needs the right person to give it what it needs,
To understand it fully in order to right. That
you
that
know,
was what it is understanding like where you're coming from. You
right.
had to understand musical theory, beat structure, all these different rhythms, grooves, funk, different things and different genres of music in order to assemble all this stuff, right?
Yeah. Um, it was just that I hate that they say they going to do something and they give you something totally different. You give them exactly what you feel that this is what you want because you're paying for it, and they're no, I think it should be like this. It's just like if I wanted that, I would have told you I need your opinion. I don't want you. I want it done because you said okay, I can play guitar, I can play whatever it is that you're
Right.
talented. I want you to show me that, but don't remix my creation. Just give it to me. If I'm like, this is how I want it played, give it to me how I want it played.
Right.
Or if
Right.
let's see, with the video, if I'm telling you the way I want it done, give it to me the way I want it done. Don't give it to me to what you see from your vision.
Right.
Do what the paying customer is telling you to do. You know what I mean? So that way you can have more uh people coming because they don't know who I may know. I may know people
Right.
that's a
You all
producer.
don't know who I know either, eh?
In the time that I've been doing music, do you know who I know? And I
Right.
don't use them. You know what I'm saying? They came and go, yo, bro, that song is hot. But I don't be like, hey, man, let's do a song. I'll be like, appreciate it. That lets me know I'm going in the right direction. If somebody that's in the music business for 40 plus years and could hit me up on a message and be like, that song's tight. You know
Right.
what I mean? That to me is a blessing because it's like they hear it, they understand where I'm going with it. And I'm not gonna take that for granted. It's like, hey, let me jump on your coattail now that you heard this and use your credentials. No, I'm gonna keep going
It's the
because they,
opposite, yeah. You're
I'm
literally
going in the right
congratulating you
direction.
with your credentials. Yeah. It's
He
crazy.
heard it, and I didn't even let's say I didn't even tell him that it was out. You know what I mean? He may have came over like a Facebook ad or whatever like that, but he took the time to listen and took the time to message me and say, hey, that's on point. I don't want to mess up that. You know what I mean? I'd rather
Yeah.
be like, appreciate it. Look forward to, checking out the next single and let it be. And let them come instead of me, please, please,
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
rather them be like, you're going in the right direction. What are you doing? How can I help? Instead of me saying, hey, you like my stuff, right? What can you do for me?
No, you want that review, that feedback, that
What can I do?
organic
How
feedback.
can I help you excel this? I see where you're going. I'd rather have that.
Right.
You know?
No,
And I've came
100%, man.
across that, in the time that I've been doing music, and it's helpful. And you can get to a point, guys, to where you can get all the glitz and glamour and the money you want, but just always remember that if it's thrown that fast at you, there's a reason. You know what I
Mm.
mean? That they're giving it to you so fast. And you want to make sure that your I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. Don't just sign paper because, oh, it's $500,000. It's $1
Y'all
million.
just caught that. I hope y'all just caught that. Go back and listen again if you didn't catch that.
I'll say it again.
Say it
Don't
again.
get fooled by that contract and they say, oh, it's $500,000. It's $1 million.
There's a reason why it's happening that
Yeah,
fast.
so
It
quickly
is.
too.
That was what is the
Look,
takeaway,
look at
right?
that. If you know that you ain't build you build your fan base, you ain't been through no type of oh, it's a hit, man. There's a
It doesn't
reason.
happen today. You know what I mean?
Pay attention. There's a reason. Don't be quick to sign away because you'll be screwed. Go do some research if you don't know that there's these crazy deals out there. Research them before you sign. And by all means, please go get an entertainment lawyer because you're stepping into a realm that you're not familiar with, especially if you're trying to bring that street nonsense to this. Ain't gonna work, bro.
Exactly.
Ain't gonna work.
It's all about business on the top end of all of this
And a
when it comes
lot
down
of it,
to
I'm
it.
gonna let you guys know. Trying to do that, to where it's street and business is just not going to work because there's different rules to both. And if you're thinking that, oh, if I bombard it and use more street than business, you will lose.
You will
You're
lose.
going up against, especially if you get with a multi-billion-dollar company.
You turn a really nice rich person off by doing shit like that. You know what I mean?
You do. And I understand that they're trying to be DMX because, come on, guys. DMX, NWA, we have all the tough guys you could possibly want. And here it is 30, 40 years later, So De La Soul still rocking.
There he is.
Common still rocking. I can go on for days. Jungle Brothers still rocking. Something to think about.
Business. They've done the business end of things properly.
And you
That's
probably like,
the
who's Jungle Brothers? Research, bro. Research the people I said.
There's a reason why they're still around too.
KRS-One. I'll give another one. KRS-One, he's legendary in the hip hop game. Is doing the show March 1st. Sorry to do this plug. He ain't paying me on it anything, but it's to make people understand that this man has been in this business through all the grit and grime since '86.
Yeah, forever before I was born.
He ain't got all the credentials as Jay-Z, but he's still here doing it since day one, and he still gets so much props. He don't get to sell out arenas and everything like that, but when his name is known, people are like, I gotta go. So something to know about that, you know.
There's something to say about that, right? Something to be said for that.
Yeah, it's amazing. He's letting you know that if he's been doing this for 40 years and he's playing songs from 40 years ago and he's doing new stuff,
it still works. Everything still
works. He not one had to shoot somebody for it. He not one had to disrespect a woman for it. He told you stories of, gun violence. He told you stories of prostitution. But he never said that he glorified it by saying, I had to have a gun. I had to, put this woman on the street. I had to smoke this weed. Like, he never.
Because a lot of them have, right? A lot of them, they glorify that. They literally tell you the stories about what they did to somebody else, right? Yeah. It's just the way it is in that industry. Yeah. So to have that, like, pure soul, that, like, going from a different direction, not that, like, that kind of content, right? Yeah. It's amazing, yeah. It's authentic. It's timeless in that way, right?
It is when you can have somebody that really you can feel it in their soul. I guess that's how, NWA and the rest of them that got, DMX, you could feel it in their soul with their music or what they were saying was genuine and true. But, we had them, we can't keep duplicating what was already done. How many?
Yeah, we need spicy. We need new, modern, right?
Yeah, and we don't have to keep going down the same realm of I sold this many kilos. Like, who's selling kilos right now?
Who's selling kilos right now?
No. I'm trying to tell you, I don't. And they'll say it's like what is it? A symbol, a symbolism of. They'll say that they're saying kilos, but the kilos is actually the song that they're selling. And I'm like, the person,
the metaphor of it all.
The kids that's coming up, they're going back to the past and saying, well, kilo meant this.
Right.
And they're going to automatically assume because you're
it's not. Like misinterpretation of lyrical content and stuff going on too, right?
There we go.
Right. 100%. So interesting.
That's where I'm at with it.
All right, well, moving on.
Before you move on, I just want to say this about sampling and playing original. If you can, like I said, like with me, I find musicians to make sure that my songs are in the right key or whatever like that. If they let it go, obviously I did something right. But I try to go and use them to give it more of a live feel, especially with my instrumental stuff. My hip hop stuff, I don't really use too much live stuff. I just, find sounds that I like, make samples. And I let it run. My instrumentals, I'm a little bit more protective. You know what I mean? Because it's all here. It's not saying that my sample stuff or my hip hop stuff is not from here. It's just
one's more organic than the other one being more digital.
One's more organic, and one hasn't put me through too much of a loop. You know what I mean? Because when you sample, you can go through all kind of trials and tribulations with it. You know what I mean? So with doing my own creations, like I said, Maintain and Obey. There's a song called Dreams 97. They're original. They ain't got no samples whatsoever in them. Right. So that's kind of always led me to try to stay as original as I can without using any samples.
I think it's kind of cool that you do some of both, because a lot of artists will only go one way or the other with the way they like their paradigm is or whatever, right?
Yeah, to me it depends on the groove. It depends on if it's missing something. Let me see if I can. I'll give you one. If you guys go look up Millennium Kids. Millennium Kids has 2 samples in it. But if you only know if you knew how I sampled them. But there's 2 samples. They go right into each other. Totally two different samples.
Interesting.
But the way I chopped them up and I did them, they don't sound nothing like, you know what I mean? Until you hear the original, it's like, oh, he took that part and
Yeah, you can almost do like a video on how you made it.
You got to do it like this in order to hear it.
That's
It's
so
pretty
cool.
good.
No, and like when I was in college, okay, hear me out. I was in college, and my professor Mike Roth, he was like an ex A&R agent for Sony, actually, right?
Right.
And he said he's like the best cover songs ever made. You can't tell that it's the song until like halfway through it. And you're like, oh shit, that's that song, Like they've done such a good job of like, you know what I mean? It's in a different key. It's got a different like structure arrangement. It's got everything different to it. But then you're like, hey, I know that song. Wait a second, right?
There's one that you need to check out that a lot of people need to check out. I think it's Blame It on the Boogie. Somebody else had did it. It's a totally different title and everything, but it's the same feel. They just changed the title. They changed the tempo's the same. The key is kind of the same. They changed the lyrics and the title.
That's amazing.
The same song. I was like, get out of it. It was. I found it was the song was at the end of a movie, and I'm like, that sounds like Blame It on the Boogie.
There it is.
And I'm like, so you mean to tell me that they took this and just changed the title and the concept and just put a whole new title and lyrics over it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Spice it up a little bit, but
interesting.
Yeah, if you never knew that Blame on the Boogie was another song, go do your research.
Okay, so I think you probably answered like the unique approach that you take to artistry that others don't consider, like your method of sampling and everything, right? Like the way you actually assemble a track together. I never heard of somebody doing it like you.
Yeah, like everybody can find that that break beat, let the break beat run. I like to play with it. They find that sample, let it run for 4-8 seconds. I like to play with it. I'm sure that they'll say, "Oh, Jay Dilla did that." And not saying that they didn't. Not saying that they didn't. Not at all. It's just how we came across the sample and how we constructed it. I love the way that they sample and chop and break. Like those guys are kings. I ain't. So if you say, he sound like this one, that's a privilege, man. Those guys are like top notch. If you say he sounds like Mad Lib or he sounds like MF Doom, thank you, God.
Well, yo, we're gonna hear another song. I didn't help produce this one. I just mastered it, I think. Bundy Apocalypse.
Yeah. Can I talk about that before we jump into it?
Yeah, you have to talk about it because I'm like, where did that name come from, bro?
All right. So what I try to do with my instrumental projects is like the first one, like I said, when I did this one right here, I dedicated the instrumental to my sister. Her name's Ann, and the song is called Mama Ann. She was a great woman. Loved the health field. She was diagnosed with diabetes, but loved music. I mean, jazz was her thing, and reggae too. But jazz was her thing, and that it was my way of dedicating that to her. Now, for the new song that's coming up, Bundy Apocalypse, this is a very personal song and a dedication to my nephew. So when I was saying White Al Bundy, he is a diabetic as well. So his mom is Mama Ann, and he is Bundy Apocalypse. So when I wrote this, when I came up with this song, he was going through a very bad diabetic scare.
Oh my God, I remember you telling me this now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was bad, people. Like I had pictures and everything. But with the grace of God, he pulled through. And you got to understand something. This is not his first time going through such a scare. This is his third time, people. So he's not supposed to be here, in my personal opinion, because he's seen death more than one time.
Wow.
Like 3 strikes, your ass is out, bro. You know what I mean? Like you ain't supposed to be here at all. And when he came through on the other side, he looked like he wasn't supposed to be here. He really did. Like he had I don't know if he knew about the pictures that my sister had taken, but it's telling you like that ain't nothing but God, man. Nothing but God. Wow. So Bundy Apocalypse was what I heard in my head after I found out that he was going to be okay, and I saw the pictures of him going through that process of getting better. Wow. From such a scare. Because like I said, he's not supposed to be here. Not at all. So I that was my dedication to him. Like, thank you, God, for taking care of him through such a kid, because he's supposed to be gone, man. He's like the
So
first
this
one was
song we're
he
gonna
was
hear
supposed to be
is like
gone.
a feeling of how you felt when you figured out that he was gonna live.
Yeah, it was like
Literally hearing that.
yeah, it
Okay.
was like when I found out that he was gonna be all right, and even just seeing him go from he's gonna live, the process him going to actually live, it
Right.
was what's in my head. So when I created this guy, so this is Bunny Apocalypse.
All right, we'll
Love
roll
you,
it.
Bun.
Welcome back to the Put Up, everybody. I'm A.K.A. the Wizard, and I'm here with DJ Melodic. It's his birthday. You just
Yes,
heard a really special song called Bundy Apocalypse that he made for. Is he your brother-in-law? He said
he's my actual nephew.
nephew. Sorry.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
my, I can't say my oldest nephew. He's my third oldest nephew.
Yeah. So that song was about him,
Yeah,
and like when you realized that he was gonna come through and live after that
yeah,
diabetic shock thing, right?
yeah,
That's crazy, bro.
definitely. When he,
Absolutely crazy.
when they told me he was going to be all right, and my sister was sending me the picture showing, his progress of being all right from such, because like I said, this is his third one. Like, bro, come on,
And
and
then
this,
that song came out as a
yeah,
result of that. That's
it
crazy.
was like, thank you, God, and the song that you hear when you guys just heard it, that one was in my head, and I went to the piano
Man.
and played it. And like I said, I got the engineer, the guitar player, the piano player, the bass player. I found some drums, got the engineer, and
The rest
trust
is
me,
history.
it's been like this, but
Yeah,
it's
bro.
the end result, so unless you know
Okay,
that.
so like we're gonna move on in the interview. Like, how do you connect with your audience and like make your art relatable to them?
Um, I try to think of me first, being a fan of music. What would, how would I want it to be presented? How would I want to hear it? What would make me go out and purchase it, download it? I try to think from a fan's perspective, because I'm a fan first, of this music, and
I
I
see
go on
one
that.
way that's like particularly huge that I don't even think you realize that you're doing so big is the merch aspect of everything. The fact that
Yeah,
you have an entire concept of over 10 pages of things for each project that you release.
and here's the
Nobody else
thing.
is doing that.
Here's the thing. A lot of that started, like I said, when I first got with DistroKid and got my music up on there. Um, when I found Teespring, which actually has the merch, I went buck wild. Like, where's my
Right.
logos? Because now I got somewhere where I can actually store them, and I can actually do not only T-shirts, I can do long tees, sweaters, hoodies, coffee mugs, whatever you could think of, I could do, and I don't have to store it in my house. They have a warehouse. I put
Yeah.
my images out there. You guys see it. You click what size, what color you want. You get it. Now, you can't beat that. The downfall to it, of course, when you have business, is always ups and downs. That's a positive. The negative is that I would love for you guys, when you purchase something, you can get it in 24 hours. Unfortunately, it's
Right.
about 2-3 weeks
Depending
maximum.
on your location, right? Like depending on where
That
you buy
too,
from.
but
Right.
like I think the company is in Kentucky and I'm in New Jersey, and they're
That
saying
shouldn't be that far. Come on.
right. Um, it shouldn't be too hard to get here, but of course, this is income tax season, so I'm sure that plays a part. This is to where our president just got into office. That plays a part, you know. So
Certain
if you
things,
guys
yeah.
purchase something, just understand it's not from my doing,
That it
but
takes a little bit longer, yeah.
yeah, it may take a little longer, but it's not that I want to take long. I would love for you
Okay.
guys to get it one day. They don't have that when you purchase. It's they say maximum 14 days. I purchased something myself actually.
Yeah, you're wearing it.
Logo, the new one, and I figured it would be here yesterday, and it's not. So just to give you guys a heads up, it may take 3 weeks to get it, but it's great quality. You know what I mean? I've made sure that all the logos and everything that you're getting is top quality. So when you see those prices, that's why I try to give you different prices on different materials. So if you get a long sleeve, you don't want a certain type of material, I got it to where it cuts down maybe $10. My short sleeves, my hoodies. I don't think my hoodies will ever go cheap, but I'm going to try to find somebody, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about with the marketing guy, to see if I can find a way to discount them, because they're
Right.
pretty expensive, and I can understand why, because of the material and the detail that's
Like this
going
one
into
was
the
too,
imaging.
actually. Like a champion hoodie type thing. And then it has a lot to do with like the brand that you're using for the material and
Yeah,
stuff too, right?
they give you options if you want to use Champion or other
Right.
types of brands that you can have on there, and that makes the price go up, guys. So if you get something and you want on that type of material, you're paying an extra $5-10 just to have the logo or whatever, because I only go in Champion or whatever. You know, you get what you pay for, basically.
Right.
So, but I
100%.
made sure that you guys can go there, pick out whatever color, pick without whatever logo or project cover you want to have on the front, whatever size you guys want. If you don't like long sleeves, you can get short sleeves. If you like sweaters, I got sweaters, hoodies, I got hoodies. You like socks, I got it all. Just
I saw
go and pick.
sandals, I think, on there. I actually kind of like the sandals, bro. They look dope.
Yeah, man. Like when
You're
I saw
gonna
that
see
they
me in
do
like
it,
universal tongues too, from head to foot, bro.
yeah. I
I'm
was
gonna buy
like,
a suit.
listen, I
That's
went
it.
all out when I found out that I could do it. I was like a little kid in the candy store, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So when you see the 10 pages of different things, I was just like, it's my logo, it's my company. I do what I want. So
Okay, so bro, like, what is the takeaway from all of this for your artists? Like, when you have fans, what do they take away from all of this experience that they're given here?
the takeaway I want you guys to understand is that there are independent artists and people out there that are doing creative music of all genres. I want you guys to be able to open up your minds and listen. Don't be so easy to be brainwashed by this is the hit that's on
On the radio,
Spotify's
right?
playlist,
Yeah.
radio, or this is the hit because it's on TikTok. Be open-minded to listen to different genres of music, and that's why I made Universal Tongues. You're not going to just hear hip hop. You're not just going to hear rock or pop. You're going to hear different genres of music, different tempos, different feelings. And I want to tap into your feelings. Like, how did you feel when you know, and that's what I want to know. Since you guys have heard Excite Mike, leave in the comments, how did it make you feel? Did it make you feel anxious? Did it make you feel happy? You know, same thing about Bunny Apocalypse. How does it make you feel, you know, knowing the definition or the dedication that I have for my nephew? You know, these things are important to any project, you know, whether it's a 5-song EP, instrumental,
The feeling
people
behind
heart
it.
and soul. You know, any
Yeah.
artist, and they release stuff. Now that we're not to a major label, when we release stuff, it's from our hard work, dedication, determination for you guys to hear and feel what we were thinking when we created any song that you guys have on any digital streaming platform. The independent artists and producers really need you guys to support us by listening to music. Not only listening, we need you guys to definitely download the music, purchase the merchandise. You know, if you're not going to support them at a live performance, if you're not watching the music videos, the way that any artist gets paid and to stay relevant is by the fact that you fans, you supporters are actually going out there and you're actually downloading the song, not streaming it from Spotify and YouTube and any other platform, but actually downloading it really makes a difference. On top of that, the actual purchase of the merch, you know, take a picture of it, tag the artist and say, hey,
upload it with you wearing it, the whole
bro.
thing, make it an experience, right?
Making an experience. If they touched you in such a way, show them that they touched you, and don't be, oh my God, $30, $60 for a long. If you felt a certain type of way, because you would do it for Jay-Z, you would do it for anybody that has $1 million, $billion.
I'm not asking you to do it for me, right? I'm not saying do it for me or even for you. I'm saying do it for who you love. Do that for whatever independent artist that you know that you love, right?
If the song touches you, the project touches you, you remember where you were or how it made you feel. Show them by actually either downloading it, and a lot of times it's not expensive, guys. Like my projects are never to where they're expensive. My clothing maybe, but the projects I try to make it to where it's you can actually spend the money on it. You know what I mean? So you can have a good experience. So that way you remember, oh, I spent $5, $10, you know, on the project.
So you're going back to it over again.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, it makes me feel this type of way. You know what? He deserves it. What does this shirt cost? $30? No problem. You know what I mean? Because you saw that you didn't have to spend that much when you actually downloaded the instrumental project or any of my projects. You're not breaking an arm and a leg for it. You may spend a little more when you get the merchandise because I'm putting on good quality material that you guys can remember and want to come back and get more and tell somebody else about it. Like, hey, I bought this promo shirt. It must have been holding up for 2-3 years. Yeah, you may want to go to him. And get, you know? So that's why you're paying, oh my God, $60, $80. Yeah, you want good stuff on your body, man. I ain't trying to, you know, hurt you on that aspect. So
that's it. Okay, so what's next for you, bro?
So what's next?
We're doing Universal Tongues right now, right?
What's next, Chris? All right, guys. So basically with me having 2 releases, I don't know if you guys know, but there's 2 releases a day. There's Universal Tongues 2, and then there's a rap project I got with Brain Orchestra. He's an artist out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. You definitely want to go check for him.
Brain Orchestra.
Yeah, Brain Orchestra. Trust me, the guy is on point. You know, if you guys want to talk about like samples or beat constructions, like different stuff to where it's hip hop boom bap, go and Google, or you know, he's on IG, Brain Orchestra, and you won't be disappointed. He got a Patreon out there that's doing great numbers. His projects do exceptionally well. Independently, he's been doing this.
Yeah, he's an independent. He's not like label recognized or anything like that. I don't think. Like
no, he's been doing all this himself. He may have a couple connects to where he can get it distributed or whatever like that. But at the end of the day, it's his hard work and determination that creates the songs that he does. His projects, he come up with all the ideas with the front covers. the merchandise. He does it himself. You know what I mean? So, and I try to, when I do my hip hop or anything, I try to find talented independent artists that touch me in a way to where I want to invest in them. See what I mean?
Right.
It's not just me taking things and saying, "Hey, come help me." But if I see somebody else that's talented, that's doing something they're independent, I don't mind investing.
Bring
So
them
that's
along. Yeah.
I basically hit them up and say, "Yo, I like what you're doing. I want us to collaborate. What can we do?" And we, talked it up, and here we are. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, and hopefully he knows this too. But even the Mystery Mix project took 3 years to make. You know what I mean? And I'm happy for it. At first, I got kind of ticked off because there's only 3 songs, but it makes me feel happy the fact that he took his hard work and dedication into writing those rhymes and to making sure that it was mixed right, everything worked, the concepts and everything. I couldn't ask for a better, and it's only 3 songs. I couldn't ask for a better project, guys. So definitely, hopefully this week.
We're gonna put it down below here. Actually, we'll link to that new project down here.
Here's the thing. Everything that I'm talking with my projects are going to be on my Bandcamp link, and they're going to be on all digital streaming platforms soon. They need like a good week or two to get everything going because there's so many digital streaming platforms that they gotta, I guess, present it to. So if you guys are using DistroKid, TuneCore, I'm sure all of them are different, but the one that I'm using says it's going to take like a week or two for them to, I guess, do like a rollout.
Like depending on which network, right? 100%.
You know what I mean? But until then, you can come to me. You can email me and say, "Hey, I want to support you. How much does it cost?" I'll give you all the information in the email, and we can do it that way. Same thing if you want to do the T-shirts, whatever it is. Hit me up at Mixed Signals, PRODS @gmail.com, and I'll take care of you.
Beautiful. And just quickly before we go, how can fans and collaborators get in contact with you? I put your Linktree links down below here as well.
Definitely.
But, you don't have a website today right now, do you?
No, it's being upgraded. I normally have one, and I took it down to revamp it, and that's been a hold up too, guys. So trust me, going through this music and you're being independent, you have your up days and you have your down days. But the thing about it is when you have your down days, you know that you got to get back to your up day, right? So that's basically what we're going on with the website. It's being revamped, being updated with all the new stuff. It's the same thing goes with the projects. They'll be out this week. So go to the Bandcamp. I don't have a pre-sale for it yet, or for you to actually pre-order. But like I said, hit me up on Mixed Signals, PRODS @gmail. I will take care of you.
Beautiful. Well, bro, thank you. That's been a great interview.
Thank
you
you,
for coming
bro.
on today. Thank you, all the listeners, for coming and watching.
For those that came, I really appreciate it. I can't see from here, but I'm sure that you guys can, because I bust my butt to make sure that you guys will be here. So I'm hoping that everybody that I hit up, whether it's on any social medias or emails or texts, that you guys are here. And if so, I am greatly appreciative.
Yes, thank you all for coming. And it's been a wonderful freaking time hearing all about your history and everything. I didn't even know half of this stuff about you. So it's like, it's so helpful for me too. You know what I mean?
I mean, like I said, guys, if you don't know, we met back in like April, May of doing this whole project. And it's here for you guys to enjoy and hear and give us some feedback on what you like. That's what that makes the world of us, to hear from people that hear music, to say, "Hey, I like this. I like that." Even if you say,
"Give us our feedback that we need,"
I don't like that. We take it because at least you gave us some type of comment or compliment of, "I like it. I don't like it." You ain't even gonna tell us why. Like, we like, take it. So, but these projects mean a lot. They took a lot of hard work, dedication. Like I said, 3 years for both to come out. And as you can see, even though that it's been 3 years, we're still going through getting all the kinks out and everything. But you heard the 2 songs, the 2 instrumentals, forgive me. They will be out this week, I promise.
This week.
And like I said, if you can't wait, email me at Mixed Signals, PRODS @gmail, and I'll take care of you. All right.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, it's been a great interview. Everybody enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Happy Sunday afternoon. Cheers.